Depends on the race. For my race day breakfast, I for marathons I'll eat more and eat earlier, but I'll generally have a pile of muesli with fruit and a lot of toast, just because I like toast with my coffee. But for shorter races like XC or dirt crits or short tracks, I like just keep it a bit lighter. So just a just toast or just muesli. Either way, I don't go for the sugary stuff just because I don't like that stuff on an everyday basis, and I just eat what I'm used to. Good question. Probably, I'll just be guessing there. Right? I'm probably eating about 300 grams of muesli to be guessing, and about 4 to 6 pieces of toast, normally with peanut butter and jam, and just because I like the taste, nothing scientific there. And yeah, normally a couple of coffees to get me going because the early starts, especially the marathon races, are a bit tough on me. Normally 3 hours before or even four. So if I know the race is going to be sort of a cruisy start and you just build into it and I'm not going to throw up my food from intense hills or something like that straight up, I'll just leave it till 3 hours. But if it's going to be from the gun and the potential to bath, I'll leave it at 4 hours for the timing of when to eat beforehand. Yeah, you're right. Normally, I mean, I know a lot of guys. Yes, so it is hard to fit it in eating that early before early starts, but a lot of guys will do a pre-start and maybe do like a 20-minute spin or even more to get the system going, and then you can digest everything you eat easier. But again, I struggle with the early morning, so I don't do that. But I'll normally just stagger what I eat instead. So 4 hours before I'll eat the bulk of my food, then an hour later I'll eat a bit more, and then an hour before the race I'll top up a bit. So you can just sort of stagger it like that, and it definitely helps. Well, for those, I'll eat just normal meals as I do every day, so not much. So just say I'd eat a bowl of muesli 3 hours before, but just not so much. So then there's no problem with the intensity. So for just say I've got a short track coming up, I'll eat that muesli 3 hours before, and then an hour before I'll just load up on sugar and caffeine basically. So that's where I'll have a couple of coffees and maybe a bar with sort of higher GI sort of stuff in it, or toast with a lot of honey and stuff like that on it. How many coffees before a marathon just depends on what you can handle, I think. Like some people seem to, get going on one, and then some people, if they have, say, three or four, get a bit too jittery and dehydrated, and it just puts them off marathons for any race anyway. So it just depends on the person. But personally, more than two for me just has a negative effect. So one I find gives me a bit of a kickstart. Two amps me up, ready for the start, and yeah, just that little bit of a kick helps me sort of to do better warm ups, for instance. But after that, yeah, it's a bit much, and I know a lot of guys that really load up, but yeah, I think too much is bad. Um, Breakfast adds pure fuel to my riding and racing, but as well, I love breakfast anyway. So I used to be able to skip breakfast before sessions, but these days I can't. I just love breakfast basically, waking up hungry and eating. But and I've heard a lot of friends and people I know who've just skipped breakfast for races. They just didn't think it was that important. But yeah, pretty much 99% of the time they'll pay the price and just pop. So without it and without the right breakfast, I reckon you're just going to struggle. Yeah, having a big breakfast definitely helps with reducing what I need to eat on the bike, because it's especially with the breakfast that I have, which is sort of wholemeal and whole wheat bread and muesli instead of the sugary stuff. It lasts ages. So yeah, I can survive on just gels these days in races, and yeah, I do normally finish stronger than I start. So eating a lot does make sometimes for a sluggish start, but for marathons, I think it's fine anyway because the starts are normally slower and you've got to finish strong in those. So it's definitely worth it. But then again, I can handle a lot of food, so my stomach sort of can hold it. And yeah, a lot of people just simply can't eat that much. So you definitely just have to play by ear. But while force feeding isn't always nice, it can pay off.